Leo, this is your week ahead astrology summary from Born Without Boundaries Astrology Motivation. This is where we dig down into the astrology of the week for specific zodiac signs. And yes, I was asked a really good question. It was, is this only for sun signs? Yes, I'm going to speak to where the natal sun is. But if you know enough about astrology, you'll know that you'll know where your ascendant is, and you'll know where your moon is, and you'll know which degree that sits in Leo too. So it's going to make the same angles to everything that I'm talking about. You'll just have to know how to apply the energies, right? Because if it's a moon that is, say, sextile to Jupiter, it's not going to impact you the same as if it's your sun sextile to Jupiter. So the angles will be the same. If you have your moon sign at 15 degrees Leo, it is going to be sextile to what I say the sun is sextile to if it's at 15 degrees. But it will have a different overall impact, just to let you know. So I am speaking to the relationship between the sun and other planets right now. Okay, so just to clarify that. So yeah, Leo, this is your week ahead astrology summary for the week of, March 3rd through the 10th. And we have a big week ahead of us because Saturn is dropping into Pisces, and Saturn hasn't been in Pisces in almost 30 years, and that Saturn's arrival in Pisces means that in the next 3 years, Saturn will have completed a full journey through the zodiac. And so where are we now compared to where we were 30 years ago? I love that Saturn in Pisces is very vulnerable because it's completely different energy. For the past 6 years, Saturn has been in its ruling domiciles because Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius and it's the modern ruler of Capricorn. So for the past 6 years, it's been pretty comfortable, pretty cozy. But now there's no coziness for Saturn in Pisces because Saturn likes to build walls, and you can't build walls with dreams. You can't build walls, you can't make rules over a space that is constantly changing. And so it makes Saturn very vulnerable, which also makes Saturn listen better, understand better, be more compassionate than it has in a very, very, very long time. It also means that we're going to be taking things like psychic energy or psychic abilities or intuition and creativity and dreams, the energy of dreams and conceptualization more seriously. You know, it's like it's growing up, maturing, paying real attention to it instead of just throwing it off to the side because, it doesn't make enough money. I think this is the first time any kind of value or value system will be applied to new things, really new things that haven't been done before. Saturn has gotten into this pattern of leading us into the predictable, right? We already know these marketing techniques, so we're just going to keep using the same thing over and over again. This is where we find something new and we start to build and amalgamate out of the nothing. And in the next 3 years, get ready for a lot of new concepts to be introduced. And so I'm really excited for this energy. How does it impact you, Leo? That's a good question. We're going to get into it. Saturn is right now in Aquarius. It's at the 29 degrees, 30 degrees Aquarius right now. So March 7th, it'll be at 0 degrees Pisces. That means that any of you who are born at the very end of Leo season, so you're at the Leo-Virgo cusp, your natal sun is going to be in direct opposition to Saturn moving into Pisces. So this huge transit, this huge energy is going to happen in opposition to your natal suns, which means it's going to strike some really challenging energy your way. You know, a sense of, are you ready for this change? Are you ready for something new? Yes, it could release brilliant energy for you, but you with an opposition, you're not going to have any control over it. It's not going to be your choices. This is something that's happening outside of you. I think it will still impact you wonderfully, especially in your work. but it won't be what you predicted or what you can control. FYI. Another transit that happens, it's already happened actually, is Mercury went into Pisces on March 2nd. So this video starts March 3rd, right? Mercury moving into Pisces still. In the first day or so, it is in direct opposition to your natal sun, Leo 3. Right? If you're born at the end of Leo, anything at the beginning of Pisces is still within 5 degrees opposition of your natal sun. So that change in energy, in other words, these huge energy shifts that happen when a planet transits into another zodiac sign, into a different energy, you get the ripple effect really strong. So this week, expect to feel like the boat is constantly rocking, because there are a lot of changes to what's happening in your life. And in fact, that's what I wrote. I was like, Leo, your lives are changing big time. Now, why did I say that? Why? Because if you are a Leo 1, that means you're born basically you're like a July Leo. You're born on the Leo Cancer cusp. Your natal sun is square to the north and south nodes. This is a karmic check-in. Like, how far along on my journey have I come? This is finally getting over the pinnacle of a really hard path and being able to get more comfortable with what was uncomfortable and really start assuming more authority over your own life. So yeah, your lives are changing majorly. And for those of you who are Leo 2, so born mid-Leo season, your natal suns are square to Uranus, which is change and surprise and, curveballs being thrown at you left and right, and needing to adjust your comfort levels to things that you didn't expect to be comfortable with. There's so many changes that are happening in your life via these squares, which are challenging aspects to begin with. It's like there's been a bumpy road, but at the same time, it may be a joyride. It's not necessarily bad. It may be very happy energy for you. It's just everything is happening so quickly, and you just feel like a new challenge every day, right? Now, for those of you who have your natal sun between, natal sun in the middle of Leo, you do get a little blessing. So Leo 2s, your blessing is this trine to Jupiter conjunct Venus, conjunct Chiron. So this was actually going to help you out a lot and be a lot easier and smoother for you guys, meaning you get luck and benefits and grace, especially when it comes to your relationships, especially when it comes to your finances. There's growth and expansion after a really hard time. So that's a little bit of a blessing for you guys that you get to look forward to, even though you are still dealing with the square to Uranus. Even though they might be challenging surprises, it is leading you to really wonderful things. Your natal moon, Leo 2, is also going to be... Hold on. I want to get this right. Hold on. Yeah, that's incorrect. The moon is in opposition. Oh, no, I understand what it's saying. So I couldn't read my own handwriting. I apologize. I got my book in front of me, guys. I couldn't read my own handwriting. I'm telling myself that the moon, before it goes to be full on March 7th, so we have a full moon in Virgo the same day that Saturn changes its position into Pisces, which also is energy that is in direct opposition to where the full moon is, which means that there's a lot of fate and destiny happening here. It's like the universe is taking things into its own hands. And any discomfort that we feel, the more discomfort that we feel, it indicates, our inability to really, really just let things go and trust the flow of things. But what I was going to say is, for you guys who have your sun, for Leo 2s, March 3rd to the 5th, the moon is going to be in Leo before it heads into Virgo to be full. So leading up to this full moon, the moon is going to be conjuncting each of your natal suns over the 2.5 days that it is in Leo. So Leo 1s, I would say March 3rd, Leo 2s, March 4th, March 5th, Leo 3s, the sun is conjuncting, the moon is going to be conjunct your sun. What does that mean? It means moodiness. It can mean being more temperamental, being more emotional release. You could need more attention than you normally do, but you could also be a lot more psychic and intuitive. And if you trust your psyche and intuition, it'll actually help you with your emotional modulation and being able to control your emotions more. Just by not trying to control it, just by having faith in what's going on. The sun, the current sun, not your natal sun, but the current sun we got to talk about too, is in Pisces, which makes it a very creative energy. It's also a very faithful, God-fearing energy. But God, not as in a religious way, but in a more spiritual way of really a time to double down and have the courage to trust our intuition and find the courage to go internally and find our dreams and believe in our dreams and have the courage to really live them out loud as if they already existed. So ultimately, this is a fantastic time, especially for you guys, but really for everyone, to manifest. And once Saturn gets in there, there's a sense of, I have the courage now to take authority over what's been churning around inside of me. I'm going to take the non-serious seriously. And oh boy, what a magic combination that is. Because that's when magic happens. And it's not magic at all. It's just the powerful energy that comes through us when we allow God and the universe to do its work, right? Really creative energy, but the current sun is also square to the current Mars. So Leo, it could be a drain on your energy or a strain. Sun square Mars tends to build tension. You could feel tension, as in because things aren't moving quick enough, they're not moving fast enough, there's one complication after another. So that tension is just going to kind of be there right now, and it's just something that ultimately for the next couple of weeks, you'll get through it. It's not a big deal, and in fact, that tension could serve as a major motivator to keep pushing you onward. And it's like the more something frustrates you, the more you want to get it done. Yes, absolutely. So if you use the tension as inspiration to validate your purpose instead of discourage it, it's actually a very fortuitous aspect that you can definitely channel into your day-to-day. So the words I have written down here for the sun in Pisces are creative, loving, faithful, and nurturing. Pisces energy nurtures our soul. Virgo energy nurtures our body. These are the two energies that are going to be called into question on this full moon. And yes, the sun is always a part of a full moon, so we're going to talk about it. The sun is always in opposition to the moon when the moon is full. This full moon in Virgo tells us to let go of the toxicities in our body or in our space, things that are causing us stress or malfunction, to make room to get rid of that, to detox, actually physically detox or cleanse our space, get rid of the clutter, sell things, donate things, clear it out. It's no coincidence that spring cleaning happens around the Virgo full moon. That is exactly what we're supposed to be doing on this full moon. It doesn't sound glamorous, but it's the most spiritual thing you could do, including detoxing all of these energies from especially your physical body to focus on nurturing ourselves and building health again. It's not about how you look. It really is about building your health. So to really, if whatever you've accumulated, or even bad habits like eating the wrong things, smoking too much, or smoking at all, drinking too much, not exercising, sleeping too late, not making your bed, leaving a mess around, anything, any bad habits you've gotten into, or routines you've let slack that have caused buildup in your life, or dust in your house, this is the time to get them back on track, to clean them out and sort of detox your home, open up your windows, let new energy in, and detox your body. And since, that's just definitely going to impact you. And since this is happening in opposition to the sun, it could just feel like you don't have much of a choice. It's like a doctor may come to you and be like, no, you have to give up chocolate, right? There's just that energy of you have to kind of figure out a little bit more self-control and self-regulation around the Virgo full moon. But it's good stuff. It'll eventually lead to something that'll actually make your life so much better. So Leos, I love you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to say, each decant that I talk about, Leo 1, 2, and 3s, the sun rules all of Leo, but each decant has its own sub-ruler. So I'm going to pose this question before we leave. How many of you know the ruler of your decant? Leave it in the comments below. I would love to know who gets it right. It's real easy. You can just Google that shit. I'm serious. Yeah. But it's fun, and you can learn a little bit more about it, and learn a little bit more about yourself in doing it. So after all, astrology is a philosophy that encourages us to learn about ourselves and our connection to the universe. So enjoy looking that up. Please remember to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Ring that notification bell to get notified. I love you guys, and I will see you in the videos.